15 miles an hour. A system of cables and hoses are stretched from the ship to the other. Connections are made. The fuel transfer accomplished for both are underway running side by side. This method of underway replenishment is called fast transfer. Using this method, a ship like the John Stennis to your right could replenish two ships at the same time, one from either side. The fastest and most efficient method of underway replenishment at sea. It's also the most dangerous, as the ships would have to run in such very close proximity with each other. Now, coming into view on the other side of here, you'll see a somewhat unusual looking ship that has two very unusual looking superstructures. That ship is Hull 24. Her name is the USS Arlington, and this is the newest type of assault ship in the fleet. The Navy called them LPDs, or landing platform docked, and this ship is of the San Antonio class. The Arlington to your right was named in honor of those that lost their lives in the attack on the Pentagon on 9/11. Prior to building the Arlington, the Navy had the ship built in the Naval Shipyard in Pascagoula, Mississippi, and prior to building the Arlington, the Navy had acquired a lot of the damaged steel from the Pentagon after the attack had taken place. That steel was taken, recycled, and when construction began on the Arlington, that steel was incorporated in the construction of the bow of that ship. So she has recycled steel, her bow stem from the from the Pentagon. Also, if you look on the aft structure of the ship, the vertical structure, we'll see an outline of the Pentagon on the aft structure of the ship as well. Well, this is an assault ship. Her mission, land the Marines and equipment onto a hostile beach, which on the ship accomplished by two modes of transportation. Inside the Arlington, there's a very large area in the interior of the ship called a well deck. They have the ability of flooding the well deck with water. When it's flooded, it causes that ship to sink on the stern by an additional 12 to 13 feet. At that point, they can actually open a door right on the ship's stern called a stern gate. With the gate open and well deck flooded, it allows them to float in or out the ship's interior well deck a variety of landing craft and also what are called LCACs. LCACs are air cushioned vehicles that ride on the cushion of air right above the surface of the water. The LCACs have great advantages over the Navy's traditional landing craft. They're fast, they're very maneuverable. The great advantage the LCACs have is when they hit the beach, they can continue to glide on that cushion of air right over land. Theoretically, the Marines ride them into the beaches and won't even have to get their boots wet. Ship Huron also carries a variety of attack and transport helicopters. The Arlington is 684 foot long. That ship is 105 foot across her beam. Very automated, requiring a crew of only 361. She also accommodates up to 800 Marines. Curious about those unusual looking superstructures on that ship. Those are called advanced enclosed mast systems. First class of ship the Navy has built to incorporate this type of mast system into the ship's actual construction. A couple of principles involved with the design. First one is to protect from the weather. A lot of the ship's sensor gathering equipment, radar systems, communication systems, other systems used for gathering information. When that equipment is protected from the weather, it doesn't have to be serviced or replaced nearly as often. Second feature in that design, stealthy technology, radar evasion. Notice the structures are built to trolley at angles and sloping surfaces. Next ship to your right also is an amphibious assault ship. This one is much larger than the Arlington. Hull number 3 on our right is named the USS Kearsarge. This is one of 8 ships of this class, and they are the largest amphibious assault ships in the world. She operates on very similar principles as the Arlington, but just on a larger scale. Like the Arlington, the ship has a large interior well deck that's filled with water. Drop a gate on the ship's stern for floating in and out landing craft and hovercraft. The ship also will carry a variety of attack and transport helicopters. The Kearsarge is quite large in size, with a battle load a 42,000-ton warship. It makes her the approximate size of an Essex-class World War II aircraft carrier. She's 844 foot long, 105 foot across the beam. The Kearsarge carries a crew of 1,200 and will accommodate up to 1,900 Marines, and you'll find this rather amazing. But aboard the 8 ships of that class, including the one to your right, extensive medical facilities. There is a 600-bed hospital aboard the Kearsarge, a 21-bed trauma unit, 21-bed intensive care unit, and 6 operating rooms. Not only great amphibious assault ships, but they're also great humanitarian ships as well. And we'll find one ship on this side of the next pier, all the way in short of the right, is a LSD, or landing ship dock, in the Whidbey Island class. In fact, it is the Whidbey Island, another assault ship. All the assault ships in our Navy operate in very similar principles. Like the other 2 we pointed out to you, the Whidbey Island to your right does have an interior well deck filled with water. Drop a gate on the ship's stern for floating in and out landing craft and hovercraft. The ship's aft deck accommodates a variety of attack and transport helicopters. She is 609 foot long, 84 foot across the beam, carrying a crew of 340. It will accommodate up to about 400 Marines. Again, it's called an LSD, or landing ship dock. On the opposite side of Pier 11, one of the largest underway replenishment ships in the world. Hull number 6 to our right is the USS Supply. The ship has a fuel capacity of 170,000 barrels, and just under 7 million gallons. In addition to petroleum, the ship will carry up to 2,150 tons of ordnance, 600 tons of dry stores, and 100 tons of refrigerated supplies. Of course, her mission is to provide rapid replenishment, petroleum, and other stores to the fleet. With this light blue and gold bandage around the stack on the supply, it tells us she's operated for the Navy for the military seaman Navy. The last pier of the Naval Station Norfolk that are now coming up on our right are often referred to as the aircraft carrier piers. These are piers 11, 12, and 14. If you're wondering what happened to Pier 13, there is not Pier 13 at Naval Station Norfolk. The Navy is superstitious, but that never like the rest of us. So these last piers to our right today, we're looking at two of the largest and two of the mightiest warships in the world. Ahead of us to your right are 2 of 10 Nimitz-class super aircraft carriers. That carrier closest to us is CVN-69. That is the USS Dwight David Eisenhower. And on either side of the Ike, a somewhat newer ship of the class, CVN-74, the USS John Stennis. The letter designation before the hull number on these ships, CVN, standing for Carrier Vessel Nuclear. The United States Navy classified their Nimitz carriers as super carriers because these ships are over 1,000 foot in length. Both ships to your right are identical. They're 1,092 foot in length. The extreme widths abreast of their flight decks are 252 feet. They're the equivalent of a 24-story building from the bottom of their keels to the tops of their masts. The structures on the flight deck of these ships is called the island. That's where most of their operations are controlled. On the island of the John Stennis, she'll bear the hull number 74, telling us she was the 74th consecutively planned aircraft carrier for the United States Navy. What might give you an idea, or maybe a concept of how big these ships are, the flight deck on one of these Nimitz-class carriers covers an area of 4.56 acres. On the flight deck of just one of those ships to your right, they can have 4 football games going on at the same time, and they would still have room for spectators. When fully loaded, 39 feet of these ships are below the surface of the water. Channel depths in this harbor run between 50 to 55 foot deep. These ships to your right will carry aboard several million gallons of fuel. They refuel a lot of the fleet to go to sea with them, as well as all the aircraft that they carry. Technically, each ship to your right carries between 100 to 210 tactical aircraft. More than likely, when they deploy, these ships do so with around 80 to 85 aircraft, depending on the type of size they're using. The aircraft aboard both of these ships are launched into the air by the use of steam-powered catapults to speeds of up to 165 miles an hour, very capable of launching their first aircraft in just 1 minute, one every 15 seconds or after. These ships carry